Exciting times, my friends, because I just launched No Masks Saskatchewan like last Saturday night. And already we've hit 1,000 members, and I couldn't be more pleased. The thing is, most of us Canadians have grown up with the belief that choice should be the ultimate. Free will should reign. But that's before we were dealing with totalitarians. And that's what we're dealing with now. Because these mask mandates are rolling through the world, and Canada and the United States, everywhere across the world. And it doesn't matter how many cases you have of COVID, because that's not the goal. The goal is to cover our faces in public. You see, we are being socialized into the belief that humans are dirty and diseased unless proven innocent by a vaccine. What's interesting about it is that, of course, a month ago, I took the lead here in Regina in talking to the media when they attended a protest. And in fact, it was then that I wore the pink shirt. And I got targeted by the media, who put a target on my head. They worked in tandem. And it was interesting because last weekend we were at the protest again. And the media showed up. But I wasn't the one they wanted to talk to. They wanted to talk to the guy who has nothing to do with any of it, because there are opportunists right now trying to jump in front of the line and claim that they have been part of this movement and that they represent us. And I want to make it really clear right now that they don't. No Masks Saskatchewan is now at 1,000 members, and I'm amazed, because the last time I saw magic like this was way back in the days that I worked on legalizing hemp. Which is why when I sold my company years ago, I honestly spent the last 10 looking for that one thing I could really sink my teeth into. And apparently I've found it, finally. Number one, it's our freedom, our medical freedom. The fact that here in Saskatchewan and most of Canada, we're all still under states of emergency. And where's the emergency? These are scary times, my friends, because the totalitarians are here and they are pushing these mandates through, whether we like it or not. And that's why we take this right line and say not. If we're lucky, we'll land in the middle. And that's the idea here. Because see, I know about Canadians. I've been here for a while. And most of us are pretty darn easy to get along with. And again, we believe in free will. I want to caution you at these protests, because I know we're going to be getting a whole lot more people than we have, judging from how this group is rolling and how many people have asked me for information. But we have a lot of groups contributing to this tomorrow. In Saskatoon, they are setting up, and I'm not even sure who's running that protest at all. I want to find out. But they've been growing a group there too. We've been at the Regina Legislature on Saturdays. And in fact, 3 weeks ago, 3 of us gals embarked on a mask action downtown Regina where we educated people at lunch, coming up with all sorts of ideas. But I realized that we were dealing with a steamroller. And that's because of my experience with the media a month ago, in which, again, they put a target on my head and tried to make me out to be this horrible, nasty person. And someone even made a video with me with devil horns. Because this is a war. Now, our last protest a month ago which was big, which the media was there. What happened was we had two guys come to attack the group. The thing is, all of us have been there going to these protests for a while. I've done marketing and promotions all over the country, Europe, United States. And that's why I'm calling what happened a setup. I've called it before. And this is what's going to happen. And this is what I want to caution people who are protesting too. The guys that came up, the media was there with cameras rolling, but they chose not to show that footage at all. That's right. What they did was tried to make me the wicked witch. And they didn't show that the other side was aggressive, because what I believe is they were throwing in an opportunity for one of us to behave badly. If this comes your way, 9 times out of 10, my friends, it's not going to be genuine. It's not somebody who is adamant about wearing a mask. It's somebody they've set up in order to add to the show that they are trying to create and that narrative they are trying to solidify. The big thing about these protests so far is it's been 90% women. And it's been really hard to make us look bad and nasty and mean, lacking common sense, especially when, of course, we're all hugging and kissing. If this happens, turn away. Don't buy into it and don't argue with the trolls. If they come up and they want to talk, absolutely, because this is what it's all about. But when somebody is unleashed on you, whether it's on their own or they're set up, it's designed to take you off balance. And don't let that happen, because it takes a lot of guts to get out there. I should know. And I want to make sure that you all understand how deep the media is into this and how they are just chomping at the bit to manipulate it. Honestly, I again cannot believe that we are fighting for our rights to breathe uninhibited. It's absolutely ludicrous, particularly in a province where we've had 23 deaths. That's it. Now, of course, every death is tragic. Of course it is, but it's life. And the other fact is that all of those deaths were COVID related. They weren't from COVID. Now, in my area here, which is Regina, which has now extended because they have now changed the 3 initial regions in our province to 6 and now to 13. And what happened was they decided to suck in those central numbers that were higher and bring them to Regina. At this particular time, Regina encompasses some towns that are an hour away by car. Guess you didn't know that. No, they didn't want you to, because they buried it. This is what we're up against, guys. And once you get further involved, you are going to understand the amount of manipulation at play here. In fact, the other day I caught a professional camera guy filming downtown. And of course, I was walking with my camera on the side, sort of trying to be incognito, because I just wanted to have footage to go through to see what and how bad this mask wearing situation was. And he point blank told me he was working for the other side. Now, what they do with this footage is, of course, the pros manipulate it. So they string it together so it looks like there's a whole lot more people wearing a mask. But right now, if you haven't joined the group, No Masks Saskatchewan, it's hard to say, you can take a look. I put up a video today of Regina that I took yesterday downtown, just to give you an idea of who's actually wearing a mask. And no, it's not really catching on. It starts with the mask, my friends. And once they get us under it, we're screwed. And this all feeds into the psychology of the vaccine to come. And this vaccine, of course, is genetically modified and never been done, which is why they needed an opportunity like COVID to slip it in undetected. This could be going on for years unless we take hold. And the big thing we need to do in Saskatchewan is lift this state of emergency that shouldn't have never been. Let's have fun out there, you guys. I can't tell you how many wonderful people I've met since we got locked down and lost our freedoms. And remember, here in Saskatchewan, we are only in stage 4 of our reopen plan. Stage 5, that's to be announced. And I can tell you, my friends, we're not going to be out of this for a long, long time. We can bitch, we can complain, we can talk about it till the cows come home. But the fact remains, our government is holding us hostage under a state of emergency right now. And it's not an emergency. What's going to happen when it is?